Lights, camera, action. In a studio where local filmmakers talk to other filmmakers about the inside world of film. Cut! That's not the script. It. We'll fix it in post. Do you wonder how films are produced and what really goes on behind the scenes? Well, stand by. Filmmakers Kevin Mumphrey, Victoria V.A. Jones, and Carson Hype Ferguson explain all the details. Right here on It. We Will Fix It in Post podcast.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Whatever time you're listening, I thank you for doing so. I'm Kevin Mumphrey, and this is We Will Fix It in Post. I am here with my colleagues, Carson Hype Ferguson.
What up?
And Victoria V.A. Jones.
What's going on?
Today, we have a guest from the Nashville area, a local actress, theater, and film. Her name is Candace Ruth Robinson. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you all?
I'm doing terrific. Now, I know that currently you are in New York. How was your trip?
Man, how much time we have?
Uh-oh.
Listen.
That's exactly why I asked.
Look, the airline, they're not serving peanuts anymore. Did they have any pretzels? Did they have any pretzels for you?
Listen, they have many pretzels and Biscoff cookies, but that was not the compensation I needed for waiting. Like, listen, can I just let this
go
ride for
ahead.
just
Go ahead.
Okay.
Fire off.
So, my flight was scheduled to leave at 7:10. So with TSA, what time would I have to be at the airport?
4 in the morning.
Exactly. So that means for me and the way that I do things, I have to get up every 6 hours before that. So I'm ready. And I've been up since 3:30 this morning. Okay. So I get to the airport. You would think at 5:45 that, it's just DNA. There were people everywhere, you guys. When I say everywhere, chaos. Only to find out as soon as I walk up to the check-in, to the counter, that I learned that my flight had been delayed 4 hours.
4?
So, yes, 4. So instead of leaving, I feel like it was 4 hours, but maybe just 2. Anyway, 1 hour is too long. It doesn't matter how long, okay? But my flight was to leave at 9:30 instead of 7:10. Get on the plane. We sit for an hour because of some malfunction, mechanical error type situation. Had to call folks in. They had to turn the air off. They had to turn it back on, you guys. And it was just okay, am I going to ever get to New York to do this job or not? So
I would think you would get a text message or something that would tell you that the plane would be delayed.
I mean, it came as soon as I got to the counter, though.
I was
already at the airport.
It might be on the app.
It was on the app, but I just got it. Trying to let y'all know it was too late.
Oh my goodness.
But anyway,
you made it.
Thank you for.
You made it.
I did. I got grace. I made it safe and sound. Everything else went okay after that. So thank you for letting me have this space to just vent.
Oh, it is our pleasure. What got you started in the acting?
Really, I've been involved in theater, performing arts from an early age, whether it was just performing at church or in school plays from kindergarten all the way through high school. I've been involved in that. And somewhere along the way, after graduating high school, I kind of let go of it just a little bit, not really applying as much attention to it or influences such as, theater and acting isn't a real job. What are you going to be able to do? And I'm just maybe these folks are right. But, obviously at that time, I'm younger. I wasn't as independent in my thinking and kind of let some things go. I did a few things in undergrad, but as time progressed, I was solely focused on my vocation, which is in education. I don't mind sharing that either. And I absolutely love being an educator and have been for going on 19 years now. But nonetheless, I got back involved seriously with acting around 2013. A friend of mine was hosting a function at our home, and a woman had asked me if I had done any type of film work or television work or even print modeling, and I told her no, and she was like, "You really should." And I said, well, maybe that's just, you know, the push that I needed. So needless to say, I started, you know, researching and connecting and networking with people in the area, the greater Nashville area, that is, and some folks located in other parts of the U.S. to just get insight on what to do. And through a series of events, I was connected with the Avenue Agency, which now has an office in Atlanta. They still have connections in Nashville as well, and was signed in January of 2015 to the agency. And, you know, I've done a number of auditions, you know, just all types of things, but got some work through them for some projects. And from there, just with connecting with others in the field here, just, you know, I've been doing a lot of local theater projects. So it's just been an interesting journey and experience. But to answer your question, I think it's always been a part of me to be in front of people in whichever capacity. And I just really enjoy it. It gives me a lot of opportunities to just release and relate to others, and also to tell stories, you know, to really connect with people and hopefully help to tell a story that can be transformative. Now,
you said you were doing plays like when you were a young girl. So do you remember the first play that you did?
Oh my goodness. Do I have to tell you? I have to share that with y'all today.
Were you a little teapot?
No, I was, okay, so I was the Easter Bunny in my preschool play.
So were you the shy Easter Bunny, or did you go up there and shine and outdo all the other kids?
It was a mixture of both. I was apprehensive at first because I had to hop, and I had ears, like I had these little paper ears, and I was dressed in all white, and you got to think about it. I'm like 4 years old, so I'm hopping around, and of course the parents and everyone were laughing, but I took it as criticism, like they were laughing at me. But yeah, they were laughing at me, but it was like
this sounds like a traumatic experience.
I'm just like, oh no, I can't do it. So I literally shut it down for like 5 minutes. And they said, okay, she's having a meltdown. We'll be back in like 5 minutes. But then I got back out there and I finished it and I did my part. So it was a learning lesson, but at 4 years old, you just don't know how to process things that people aren't truly making fun of you, but they were being entertained. And that's, going back to my earlier point about entertainment and telling stories and connecting with others. I think that's what kept me involved with acting and speaking in front of large crowds, ever since then.
So what was the point when you realized that you enjoyed like performing in front of a crowd of people?
I would say I was in middle school, actually. I attended Magnet Middle School in Nashville. So
were you a bunny in this play as well?
No, I was not a bunny. I was actually an Army drill sergeant, and
now that's a step up.
I can see that.
Yeah, it was a step up from being a bunny.
I can see that.
That's more than a step up. That's a whole turnaround right there.
I can see that. Were you wearing one of them rounds, the round caps?
It was just a regular cap, fatigue. But I was dressed out in all fatigue. So you got to keep in mind, like this is the '80s, right? So this is when those type of fits were making an entry
you look like
regular
Janet Jackson with
control.
Yes, control. So this was making an entry into general the general public's attire. So I'm just like, I was really feeling myself. I had this part, you know, and I just really enjoyed being on stage, even though it was a small part in the scheme of things, but it was just the fact of being in the company of my peers. And also in middle school, I had the best drama teacher, Miss Call Williams, and it's amazing I still remember her name, but I had the pleasure of seeing her a couple years back, and nonetheless, she was amazing. She really taught some life lessons in the midst of teaching theater, you know, improvisation and just speaking skills and just all these types of things that have helped me in other areas of my life. So I would say fifth grade was when I was like, yeah, I really like this.
So what would you say why would it be important for someone to kind of take theater classes in middle and high school?
Well, obviously it can help with presentation, just having the confidence in speaking and how to deliver, how to connect and come across as authentic and believable. And it's also just, you know, a good outlet for expression, because not only did we have the opportunity to act, you know, in performing arts, but we had opportunities to write pieces and do things in theater classes. So, you know, it can just, I think, aside from the internal motivation and intrinsic motivation that you can gain from taking such classes, I know too that it provides maybe that student that's kind of on the fence of where to go or feeling like they're not seen. And that's, you know, obviously a common thing right now of feeling noticed and feeling seen and really catering to the whole student, to make connections and to understand what their preferences are. I really believe that it's a good outlet, and there should be more focus on the arts. You know, we are heavily inundated with academic concerns, and I'm not knocking that, because we definitely need some bright shining stars out here, because some of the knives in the drawer are real dull right now. People telling folks what to do, man. Got, you know, like we used to say, you know, their cornbread ain't all the way done, but
I like
at the end of the day,
hey, follow me. I got the answers. Follow me. No, I got the answers, Sway.
The cornbread ain't all the way done.
I got the answers.
Yeah.
Right here. Look. It's written down. It's written down. I listen to Nas.
Okay. Well, that's another drink you owe me right there.
Come on.
He told a real funny joke earlier, and I said, you owe me a drink.
Come on.
I see. See where this is going. Okay.
So for every bad joke that you tell, you owe me a drink for it.
Look, I don't know where that came from. That cannot be the rule. Not around me. You will be under the table.
Well, it's being recorded, so it's kind of this is kind of like a legal document in this one.
So Candace, what was your first out of acting, stage plays or film? Like what is the one that you love the best?
A hard one.
You got pick. You got to pick one.
I can't pick between. Man, I thought this was supposed to be easy.
Look, you got to flip a coin or something.
I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for Victoria.
But listen, okay. Y'all put me in a bad predicament here. I will say though, listen, and not just because y'all are hosting this show, but I really, really enjoyed First Date. That was so much fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
I am so glad you enjoyed yourself.
Because we were stressed the
because I was ready to just throw stuff at everybody, and they knew to get out the way, because I was like, come on now. But it was fun. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, it was fun. And to be honest with you, you made it more fun. The fact that
you were a godsend.
You came in, and the fact that you learned that script so fast, I was like, oh my goodness. So my next question along with what I just asked you, because I still want you to finish that one. But
she sure got out of it.
I didn't forget it.
That was smooth. Oh, okay.
I didn't forget it.
That was very much a politician move.
I got something else. So how do you prepare yourself when you get a script? How do you remember your lines? Like, how do you go through that process of knowing your lines and delivering the way that you do?
Well, it takes time to, of course, memorize things. I just have to really envision the character the way I see. And I know that requires, I can't just totally take on the responsibility of developing the character, because I want to be respectful to the writers, the producers, the people that make the project, for sure. On the other side of that, though, I, along with other actors, I'm sure can relate that we're the ones delivering, and it's not necessarily that team of people that are on the stage or in front of the camera that are delivering to the audience what this character may demonstrate or present. So I really just have to, definitely take into account who the character is, kind of develop an arc for the character. Who, what could I envision this person liking to eat, or what could I envision this person enjoying doing in her spare time, or just really getting in touch with who I believe the character is to make that character even more authentic. And I think that comes even more so with theater, because unlike film, theater is it's all you got right there. There are no redos, there are no start overs. You just got to go with the flow and be present and in character all the time. Whereas with film, obviously, if you mess up, like the title of your show says, right?
Right. Right.
If you mess it up, it can be fixed. But I just really try to connect and get in tune with that. I think also to, aside from the independent work that's done, of course, with scene partners, and this is transferable between film as well as theater or stage productions, just getting connected with your scene partner definitely create authenticity to the role and to the whole story. That's why I said this is, originally your question, Victoria, about which one was my favorite project, because I can pull out so many different things from different projects that I've done where I've enjoyed it. Like with theater, there was a play called Let's Straighten It Out that George Darden did through Geo Soul Productions. My character, her name was Addie, and Addie was like the female version of Steve Urkel. So I had the glasses and everything, and the high voice. I think George has this. He ought to have it. He ought to.
He better have it.
Call him. Call him. We need to see that.
Oh
hopefully we can get before Armageddon.
And she's not talking about the movie.
No, I'm not. So, I really respect George, but, I know too, when I say that, it's with love, but a tough love that I say, I hope we can get it soon. But yeah, so, those opportunities have just been, really great to, meet other folks in the field and really respect the craft, because like myself, obviously, being an educator full time, and also looking at this not just as a hobby, but obviously seeing this as like, it is a career. It is a career. But respecting all those others that I've met along the way that have so many other responsibilities as well, and when they devote their time and energy to these efforts to tell stories and make them come to life is just a really remarkable thing.
So with say with stage acting and film, are you a little bit more relaxed?
Phew. I think I'm more nervous, actually. I'm more nervous. Yeah.
So
I'm more nervous.
Most people would think because with theater, it's like right there. You in the moment. Whatever happens, it happens. Whereas in film, you could do it over and over, and the messed up parts just magically disappear because we cut them out. So why does film make you more nervous?
Because I think about the end result, the end product, and beginning with the end in mind. You know, you want to deliver a high quality piece of work, and I'm, definitely not one for wasting anybody's time. I want to do a good job. I want to do a job well, let's just say that, and knowing that the end product can potentially reach more people, right? Because especially in the climate we're in now, where everything is being streamed virtually on various platforms, where folks aren't necessarily going into the theater or anything like that, or buying, old school DVD to pop it in. You can just automatically stream these things, and it's like, okay, wow, like if I'm in this production, that doesn't just mean that the few hundred folks that paid a ticket to see us, like they would see a theater performance, just come and see it. This can reach hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of people right away. I think that's where the anxiety comes in. It's like, how is it going to be received? Who's going to see it? What feedback will the general public give about a role? And, did I meet the expectations of the production team as well? So, like, all those things go into my mind when I do film or when I've done film.
So when you do theater, like when you're done with that production, or you're done with that show for the day, you can kind of, once it's done, it's easy for you to just let go.
Yeah, it's easy to let go, and like the adrenaline rush is there because you got those lines, you know them, you've rehearsed them 1,000 times, and you just let it go. You're right. You just release it all on the stage, and you leave it there, and you pick it back up again the next day, and then depending on your co-actors and whatever shenanigans they may try to pull, just got to go with the flow. It is truly improv in a sense. You can kind of ad-lib a little bit more. But yeah, it's done, it's over, and you can walk away feeling proud and good.
What's your favorite type of character to play?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Go ahead and answer this one.
You a little bit too excited over there.
No, I'm like, I want to know.
Oh my goodness!
Like Joe said. Like Joe said, I want to know.
That's drink number 3 right there.
Come on, that was good. It's a callback.
We need a drink sound effect. But continue.
I think like a suspense thriller. That's something I've not done. And I think I would really like it.
So I
would really like it.
Like what type though? Like World War Z or not quite that much?
No, like what was the film?
Or even a song movie.
It's a little older.
Oh, hello. No. She going back.
A little like Obsession with Idris Elba and Beyonce.
Oh yeah, Obsession.
Ooh.
Okay. So who would you play?
Drama.
You go that far back.
So you would play the wife, or would you play the obsessed lady?
I would love to play the obsessed lady.
So you'll be in them that's what it is. You'll be in them Lifetime movies where them women go crazy, and then they go after the dudes who you know what I'm saying, they had a little fling with them, and the dude was like,
us as guys are very uncomfortable right
now.
I wanna go back to my wife, and you be like, oh nah, you ain't doing it. And then she go all crazy. Right. Oh, okay. I can see that.
I would. You know why?
We don't watch those
I've
movies.
come to this realization, Kevin. Now you know you do.
No,
you do in your spare time.
Those are good movies.
When I go home, if my mother goes, she's watching Lifetime. That is her way of saying, "Get out of the house."
Yeah, pretty much. I had an ex-girlfriend that used to watch Snapped and be staring at the side of my head. And I'll be like,
Snapped is a different story.
That's a different level.
Okay, that's a different
That's
level.
another level.
It's the same kind of. It's the same kind of thing. Like for real.
It's in the same field, but that's another level. Lifetime is like third base. Snapped is home. That's a grand slam. And then staring at your head. Oh no, that's.
Yeah, I'm like, it's getting uncomfortable up in here. Like for real, like I'm eyes forward because you don't
want to turn that head over.
Yeah, you turn it over, and it's an argument.
Only you guys would think that because literally we watch Snapped and we watch Lifetime and we're just like, that's interesting.
No, not all of y'all. Not all. Yeah, no, don't do that. Like because
be honest, if she goes interesting, that makes me more nervous.
See, that's what I look at that stuff. I'm like, that's interesting.
We breaking up at that moment.
Look, it turned into an argument. If I look at you, like what, and then that starts.
Interesting. And now you gotta get out the house. Or it's worse if she looks and take a note.
No.
Ooh.
No.
Ooh, I never thought about it that way. Yep, gotta get out the house. So I see why y'all like to play these type of roles. It's just to scare us.
No. It's not even about
they're
the scare.
fun to play.
I bet they are fun.
They're fun to play. They're fun to play.
It's fun to scare us.
Okay. At the same time, you wouldn't mind playing a villain, right? That's something fun for you to play.
What kind of villain are we talking?
I mean, any kind of villain.
Lex. I don't mind being Lex Luthor type of villain.
That's cool. But like you talking about like Idi Amin.
That's cool.
Like,
So the fact that we say is cool.
No, there's different types of villains now.
Okay.
So Michael B. Jordan, Black Panther is a whole lot different than Idi Amin and Last King of Scotland.
I got you. So there's different kind of women though too.
Yeah,
when they're playing those roles.
Not in Lifetime.
Okay.
Not on Lifetime.
No. Listen.
Not on Lifetime.
Okay, you get a role to where the woman gets beat and then she turns around and kills the guy. So what is that?
But she's not the villain in that story.
That's still a villain. She kills a dude.
Well, it depends. Depends. Like look at that movie with Jennifer Lopez. Enough.
Yeah.
I mean that's kind of the basis of like a lot of them Lifetime joints. But it depends on how far she went. I mean, she's a villain if she suffocates the dude in his sleep and he's a good man because she won life insurance money. You know what I'm saying? And then that's a villain.
Okay.
And suddenly somebody's trunk of the car has a real awkward smell.
But that's the same thing that I was saying about y'all. Y'all wouldn't mind playing a villain, and you just said that there's different type of villains, but there's different type of Lifetime women too. There's like I said. So you got.
I wouldn't know because I leave the room as soon as I hear Lifetime.
Oh my goodness! Anyway, Candace, back to you.
That is a red flag.
Oh, what you see what I got to deal with over here?
Lifetime.
I see.
Not television for me.
No. It's not even that. Y'all went all the way left with this. Like in terms of saying like what women are taking notes, man. We're not in a lecture. We're not in college.
Like I know, you and VA aren't, but I've been on the internet. I've been on the internet. I know better.
We've seen some things.
I know better. I done seen a lady get upset at her dude and try to run him over. And I'm like, what's going on? Like,
that's
for real.
entirely too much.
That's different.
That's too much.
And you know, this dude was calm the whole time. That's
because he has no choice.
That actually made me more scary. Because he's like, oh, it's Tuesday.
Oh yeah, he's used to that.
And I'm like, oh man, like he's
living that car.
She bust the windows, not just out his car. She went beyond Jasmine Sullivan. She bust the windows out the house. She keyed the car. She rear-ended the car twice. Tried to run him over the last time.
So my question to that is, what did he do?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
My question is, what did he do?
Hold up.
I don't think legally.
What did he do?
Yeah.
I mean, like, okay. Let's go with your premise.
Okay.
What if he smacked her dad? Did you think that's all warranted?
I mean,
bust the windows out the car, three sides, rear view, front. I mean, like the sides.
Listen,
bust the house window.
He ain't smacking her dad again. I can tell you that.
Listen, coming from a daddy's girl, if you smack my dad, it's war. I'm either gonna bust your windows or I'm gonna shoot you.
Okay,
it's two different things.
Okay, so let's say it's less than that.
Okay.
He left the toilet seat up.
Oh, then she crazy.
What about if she just crazy? why he gotta do something? Why he gotta do something? I mean, for real. Hey, look, because you see crazy dudes. I ain't messing with crazy dudes.
But there's a trigger. You have done something to trigger the crazy.
Toilet seat water.
You get look. You could be pumping gas, and somebody crazy gonna come up to you and just be crazy. You know, like that's just how it goes. If they don't need no trigger, they're already crazy. I'm like, man.
No, anybody gets a trigger. Anybody.
Okay. All right. He ran out of cereal that morning. Now
then
he's ready.
She's still crazy.
Now they're ready to take it out on the first person.
Then she's still sugar. Crazy. She's crazy.
Diabetic. There you go. Sugar low.
We've gone left enough.
What? You owe me.
I lost count how many drinks you owe at this point.
It ain't no drink no more. You owe me some wings and everything. You owe me something.
Did you just throw wings into this?
He owe me something. Something. A drink and some wings. How about that? We'll make that work.
We 33 minutes in and you owe her a meal.
I got you an IOU.
Oh, okay. I ain't even got nothing to say to that. Kevin asked a question. I ain't got nothing to say to that.
Oh, I forgot. Oh, okay. Sorry, we went so far left. My brain went somewhere else. But what actors or actresses were you watching growing up?
Of course, if we take it to TV, of course, Alicia Rashad, Bill Cosby, you know, those actors that have like transcended time. And just really offering a good example within the African American community. Also, you know, it was like this thing in the house every Easter. We had to watch the 10 Commandments. I mean, I'm just like, okay, I get the story, but I have to, you know, give a big homage to like Charleston Heston for playing Moses. I know it wasn't historically accurate, you know, but
it's funny how we find out those things as we get older.
Yeah. However, his skills at the time were considered noteworthy and great. But obviously, I'm glad that I've graduated from those times and have been able to appreciate a wide variety of folks, not just those within the African American community, like those that I mentioned before. I also would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Cicely Tyson, Sidney Poitier.
In the heat of the night.
Oh yeah.
Those actors that you cannot forget. You know what their presence really meant and represent. Billy D. Williams, Diana Ross, even, you know, I could go on and on.
So you were filled with influences. So you named a lot of black actors, obviously. So what would you think is the importance of having representation on film?
Not only just to dispel myths about our community, but to give inspiration to the younger ones that are coming through. And I think, you know, we can go back and forth nowadays about what is considered accurate, correct representation within our community. You know, and what I mean by that is, we look at like Tyler Perry, right? And over the years, he's been given a lot of flack for the types of films that he produces because it's either a mischaracterization of Black women or it's just perpetuating a stereotype of women, especially in our community, that are distraught or or even the crazy kind. You know, like those are the only type of women that are in our community. However, on the other side of that, he's employing folks within our community when some people wouldn't even acknowledge them at the front door or even give them the opportunity to audition, let alone enter into the door. So, saying all that to say, our community, African American community, is not a monolith. We are a diverse community within our own community, and we need to have full scope representation of who we are, and not just, you know, what some people want to deem us as being.
The 20%, the 20%.
Yeah.
Instead of the 80% that's out here, that's different than what's being showed.
The more opportunities that we have to create the content, even if one person sees it, that's one impression that you've made, and we know that with that one impression made, that can influence others. You know.
So what is you know, I have problems with certain, I'm not gonna name names, but I have problems with, you know, certain people and how they portray especially black women in the industry or show stereotypes. What are some of the things that you don't like? As far as and it doesn't matter, like, any representation. What do you don't like that people are like really, really preying on today that are stereotypical for black women?
Oh, you know, to be honest though, I've kind of had to detach from a lot of things and just go back to old school film and get my joy out of that here lately. Because I totally know that, you know, an independent, strong black woman is not necessarily one who can't find love, or, you know, can be loved because she's strong and may have opinions. That's not true. Of course, I don't appreciate the mischaracterization or the hyper sexualization of black women, as if that's all we know how to do is just to wear scant clothing and represent ourselves only in a sexual manner and not be taken as intellectual beings, when in fact we are. We know that we are creative beings. We are innately creators anyway. That's a whole nother topic, but I just would appreciate more positive images of women, especially black women, who are leaders, who are wives, who are loving mothers and sisters and daughters and all those things, because there are plenty of us who exist in the real world, and we don't often get that opportunity to be featured in that way.
I agree, because like it's almost like they want to show one, but not, you know, the others, and like one's highlighted way more than the others, and I don't understand that. There's like not enough balance.
And you're right. There's a lot of the white stories that are told about women. A lot of black women go through it. That's just like, you know, trying to have a baby and going to, you know, get the injections and stuff like that. There's a lot of black women who do that, but I have not seen a movie really of a black woman trying to pursue that. You always see the white women in it doing it, and that's something for me. That's something that I want to change. You know what I'm saying? Because it's different, you know, and it's different for a black woman to go into a doctor's office and they don't put as much effort into her as they would, you know, a white woman. It's those are real stories.
But I mean, like, some of that goes into the imagery.
Yeah.
You know, if all you're represented by is, like, you know, cops or, you know, some of these other things, there's a lot of America that's never going to have an interaction with you until, you know, they got to make one of those snap judgments.
Yeah.
And if all they have is negative imagery, what are they going to go by? It's just natural human reaction. It's not good.
Right.
And you would hope that somebody would, like, think that, oh, this is just something that's on TV, especially if it's entertainment. But we all know like how some people respond to that stuff.
It's people who really believe that stuff, even though it's entertainment. They really believe it, and that's how that's Hollywood is part of the problem. It is. It really is, and it's only
part of this country, part of places in the country that there could be a lot of people who have never just face to face seen a black person. They've never interacted with one, so their only perception is what they see on television and it's on film.
So, like I even had a Hollywood executive tell me this. I said, hey man, like how come there's no like black family shows like Family Matters or even like, with respect to the whole Cosby Show thing, like a Cosby Show where you have like, upper level, black family. He's like, nobody watched that. I'm like, reruns are on TV right now.
Right.
TV, all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, you can't tell me that nobody wants to watch stuff with their family that they can enjoy. I mean, that used to be a big thing in the 90s. I don't think that it wouldn't be now. I just think there's not as many options. There's not. And you see more of the sitcoms of white people, all white family, of sitcoms that are now. You don't see a lot of black ones. Recently that sitcom came out with Wanda Sykes and
Mike Epps.
Mike Epps. Upshaws. That was a very good sitcom. That was portrayed a very good way. It was something that everybody could watch. A whole family could sit down and watch that show.
I don't know if you're going to let the kids watch because they do curse on there.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, it ain't nothing that they ain't heard before.
The kids probably cursing at the family right now the way things going. Be like, you ain't gonna whoop me.
I would rather them watch that. Even though, I mean, yeah, they said the N-word, said a couple other words, but I mean, they in a black family, I heard the N-word all the time when I was younger. So it was nothing. It's nothing that you're not gonna. They don't already know.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to say real quick too. Not saying that it has to just be families of upper middle class or white collar profession, but middle class families that are addressing real life issues in a way that results a positive outcome. That's what I feel is missing. And, that's a prime example with the Upshaws. It's a typical black family. You have an entrepreneurial husband and corporate environment wife, and they have this family and extended people in their lives that come in and influence different things. And it's real. It's a realistic view of where I think a lot of black families fall in this day.
Right. A husband with a past and who's trying to make things right. I mean, you know, it's real. Like it
is real.
That's literally my family. Right.
But
yeah.
I want to go back to you doing stage. So when you do like a stage play, and when you're out on stage, do you try to look at people and try to look at them in the eye, try to make a eye-to-eye connection with them, or do you have a focal point of where you're looking at?
Oh man, 98% of the time I have a focal point. I tried that one time and almost got out of character, where I looked, made a connection with somebody in the audience. But I just find it more helpful to have a focal point.
Now, for stage, how important is the rehearsal process?
Oh man, it's extremely important. Even if your particular scene is not being the primary focus, it's important to attend. It's important to take notes, and I'm not saying necessarily physical, but mental notes of what's going on to get the real feeling for the environment that you're going to be in, so that you can show up and be and contribute to the product, right? So it's very important to rehearse. And I can honestly say any theater production that I've been in, it's been like rehearsals have been intense, and I appreciate that experience.
Now, can you kind of expand on that a bit? What is an intense rehearsal?
Oh man, well, one production I was involved in required a lot of choreography. So not just necessarily with placement, but actual dance moves, learning, all of that in addition to singing. And this particular, the end result was it was a 2-hour play, but it was a lot of work in between just to prepare for that. And it was important to be there, even, like I said, even when the things that I wasn't a part of weren't being rehearsed for those particular nights, but just to be there to get a sense of what the vision of the writers and producers had for this work. So yeah, it's a lot that can go into theater. Knowing, having to know the scene and wardrobe changes and being in character for different people. Like I had 3 different characters I was playing in this particular play. So it wasn't just a continuous storyline of one person. It was actually historical in nature. We're portraying a lot of the past and present great leaders, actors, activists of our history, and I had to be in character for all of it. So
you have to like leave the stage, almost switch into a whole nother character.
Yep.
So how do you
come back?
How do you how do you just switch on and off to basically different people?
Man, it's just because I've been watching them Lifetime movies. I don't know how to go from one thing to the next.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God.
I was hoping we wouldn't have to go back here, but
they don't understand.
We were out of that.
No, I guess we don't.
I know we were out of that, but no, seriously. Again, when you're in that space and you're there authentically and you give 100% of yourself, I don't think it's difficult to switch back and forth. You have to be committed to the project, and there have been times when I've not been as mentally committed for whatever reason, and I feel like my performances haven't been as strong in theater and in film. But when you're 100% clear on what the focus is, what the objective is, the outcome, everybody is on one accord for that piece, I think it just makes for a very beautiful production, and you can just be focused on making the audience happy.
So, normally, how an average kind of rehearsal time for a film? Like what, maybe 2 months, a month, maybe?
Yeah. For a film, trying to think here. Yeah, about a month or so.
And y'all probably rehearse maybe 3 or 4 times a day?
Ooh.
Not a day, I mean a week. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's varied between 2 to 4 times a week, and especially depending on how many lines and who your partners are for different things. So I think, it just can vary. And, obviously I've been in situations where I didn't have any time to rehearse. It was just like, okay.
Right.
Hello.
Be there. Hey, I'm here.
So with those ones where you have time to rehearse and you're there with this your castmates for like a month, and you're with them pretty much weekly. And when that production kind of ends, is it somewhat of a sombering feeling for you all?
I would say yes, because you've developed a bond, not just with the character, but obviously with your castmates, and it can be bittersweet. It's something that you devoted time to. You volunteered a lot of effort and energy towards the project, and when you don't necessarily come together anymore, it can be kind of sad. Then I ain't gonna lie, in some cases, I'm not gonna name any names this time, but in some cases when I left, I think it was okay. It was okay.
That's
I was
done.
good.
That's done.
Out of there.
You like me?
And they may have felt the same way too when I left too, and it's all good. I love an honest person, so that's all I can say about that. But I would say for the majority of the things I've been a part of, it's been bittersweet.
So if they just came out and just like, I'm not gonna miss you, you be cool with that? Them just coming out and saying that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna beg. I'm not gonna try to make somebody have feelings that they don't have. And really, we're as human beings, we're not all gonna always have bonds with one another in the sense that it would be eternal or not necessarily eternal, but long lasting. Let me say that.
Mm-hmm.
So, despite human nature, that's not going to always happen. I would hope that for the time that was devoted to the project, that it was worthwhile, because the project itself is bigger than any individual. It's about the team, and you have to be concerned about the end result.
That's how it should be. That's how it should be. But
that's how it should be.
People got egos. People got. There's people with egos that don't deserve to have egos.
Why did you look over here when you said that?
Because I know you've dealt with it.
Oh, I was finna say
I know you dealt with it.
I have never had no ego.
Everybody got ego. Everybody got ego. A little bit.
Okay, there's different egos. We're gonna go back to y'all was saying. It's different ones. The ego that I have is a little bit different. Okay, I've never had an ego to where I was better than somebody else.
I have.
Oh, for real?
And not dealing with this, but yeah, I was like,
why are you talking about this? I'm just saying, I
say peasants.
I ain't saying dealing with this, but I'm just saying.
I'm unsavory humans.
I'm playing.
That's another drink right there. So
there's a lot of drinking going on.
Y'all getting a lot of drinks, right? When is the party again?
Whenever he decide he want to pay up for all these corny jokes that he been saying all day.
But I wanted you to expound on something. When you said you came back into acting, you started doing your research. So what was your process on researching?
Really, like I said, I did some online things of, what is the best way to get into acting in general, just general search online. Then it led me to understanding audition processes a little bit more, whether you should be affiliated with an agency or not, whether you should consider being SAG or AFTRA eligible and getting those credentials behind your name, or just, really starting really light by taking some acting classes. And so I think for me, the blessing of it all, when I was able to commit to that part of myself even more, like, people just started coming into my life, and I was able to meet some individuals that kind of guided me through and put in a good word with the agency to say, hey, I think this person would be worth your while to consider to be on your roster. And so from that, from the audition process and going out to different locations after securing a couple of gigs initially in like the first 3 or 4 months of me being with the agency, I asked like, what else can I do? It's kind of like a sponge. I had been reborn, if you want to say, kind of like awakening that inner child. And it was recommended that I take some classes at one of the local studios here, and did that for a while. Learned a lot, which I think helped me further on down the road with being able to secure other roles with different companies and other things. So yeah.
So you've mentioned that you're also an educator. So what have you taken from being an educator that you put into acting?
Oh man. Well, in the traditional setting of teaching, right, which I had the pleasure of teaching in the classroom for 15 years of this soon to be 18 and a half years of education. You have to be on, like literally on all the time. And that's not necessarily being just loud or boisterous or, always being comical with kids, but you have to be on. You have to pay attention to what's going on in your classroom. You got to have a feel, read the room. It's like kids that can come in, that they pissed off, that they're upset for some reason that happened well before they got to your classroom. You have to know how to intelligently diffuse or to address certain situations. And I think the same goes for acting. You got to be able to read the room, know who you're dealing with, understand that people may come in, they don't know how to leave their stuff at the door before they go into a rehearsal or shooting a scene or whatever it may be. You got to just know how to act accordingly and know how to respond intelligently so that the outcome is that everybody learns at the end of the day. I think the same happens in acting as it does in teaching as well. So not just being a presenter of the knowledge and being able to keep the attention of your attendees, so students, or patrons of a play. You got to just really take it all in and know how to balance it all to get the right result at the end. And you got to have a good memory too. You got to have a good memory.
So would you say it helps you with improv a bit?
Oh yes, because man, I can't tell you how many lesson plans I've prepared, written, whatever it may be. And you go in and you're like, okay, this is going to be a really good lesson today. And something throws the whole situation off. There have been times when I knew, like, my kids, they didn't really want to learn about Spanish. They didn't really want to learn, but I had to kind of roll with the punches, give them their little bit of space to express what they wanted to express, but also give them the opportunity to know that that I do mean business and we're going to learn today and we're going to get through this lesson. So, it's like it's give and take. There's a reciprocity to all of this stuff. And within that, I will agree, Kevin, definitely you have to know how to improvise. But some things they don't always go according to plan. They just don't. They don't. You gotta know what to fill it in with.
Now, do you kind of like ad-libbing a bit, even with acting or even just with teaching? Or are you more comfortable just having like something planned out and things just kind of go to plan?
It depends. So, if I'm very comfortable with the content of it, if I've had time to devote, I think, obviously it's easier to improvise. But if it's something completely new that I haven't seen, of course I would need some time to get it in my brain and be comfortable with it. And I want to make sure that, it comes across well and it comes across believable to the audience. And, within that too, even though if I don't have enough experience with the content, if you are taking into account the whole situation, when there may be a call for, holding your head a certain way and looking at your scene partner in a certain way, that may not necessarily be written in the script, but it just feels natural to do. So, am I answering your question?
Yeah, yes, you're fine.
As you were answering that, I was thinking about like first date. Do you think that the just the idea of you knowing us, do you think that added to your your ease with taking in the subject?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Right. I felt comfortable.
Oh, that's all you had?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, since we're on the subject of first date, first of all, thank you for getting us out of that pinch.
Yeah.
Because we had no actress.
Big time.
Nothing but actors, no actress.
Oh,
none of us was wearing a wig.
Well,
I definitely wasn't doing it. Let me just put it right there. I definitely was not doing it.
I was like, yo, I'm gonna need you to put some lipstick on.
I definitely wasn't finna get in and do that.
Didn't she email you that she didn't have her phone or something?
I don't even remember anymore.
She contacted you
like
somehow.
That. Yeah.
I'm trying to edge it out my brain.
I somewhat did. It was either an email or through a third party. I don't know. No, because she didn't even know because I told her. I think it was an email.
Or it was Facebook, wasn't it?
Yes, it was Facebook. Because that was rather strange.
Because I think she was either at work or at home or something like that.
No, she left her phone at home, at work.
At work, but she was at home, right?
She was somewhere.
She was somewhere where she could...
And sent a message that she didn't have her phone, so she can't do the thing.
Yeah, so...
That makes no sense.
Oh, my God. Listen, just from now on, if the universe, if you want to be an actress or actor, if you ain't comfortable with the role, please tell the director that. That's all you got to say.
Turn it down before the day of the shoot.
Turn it down.
Preferably a few weeks before the shoot.
We would rather you turn it down and say, okay, that's cool. I'm going to have more respect for you if you turn it down than you coming up the day of the shoot and giving us a bogus excuse like that.
I'll forget you turned it down if you did it like a few weeks before. I'll forget about it. It's not even that big of a deal.
You know what that...
The day of, I'll probably remember you.
That sounds like... That sounds like the... I ain't never heard nobody use this excuse, but I used to hear it a lot on TV. I had to wash my hair. That's what that sounded like. That's what that sounded like to me. I had to wash my hair.
If I used that excuse, it would be horrible. But
head and shoulders.
Man, I ain't been able to use that excuse in about 15 years.
Man.
But since we're on the subject of first date, because we gave you the script and you had like maybe 20 minutes?
Maybe 20 minutes, yeah.
Or time went by slow and fast at the same time. So how did you get in the process of kind of getting yourself ready for a role when you woke up that morning not even thinking about acting?
Listen, let me just say, first of all, it was divinely ordered for me
it was.
There, right? And
most definitely.
I really am grateful that I was able to help you guys that day. And it was my pleasure to help out and to fill in. So I just want to express my gratitude to you all being open for that part too. You know, so some people would have been like, just, nah, man, forget it. We'll just go and try to figure something else out. But y'all gave me.
We was almost at that point.
You know,
very close to that point.
You know, to be real with you, I was getting to the point where I was gonna ask you, but I was like, man, maybe she'll say something. Man, just let us just linger and like fuss a little bit more. Maybe she'll maybe she'll chime in.
So you're like, man, it would be really great if we had an actress.
I felt like, you know, the spotlight, you know, like maybe we were all in a dark room and then this spotlight comes out of nowhere and it's just shining down. It's like, you. You're the one. You need to step up and do it.
I was real close, but I was like too into it.
You didn't want to be too aggressive at the moment. Like let's just give it a few more minutes.
I was too into it.
Yeah, man.
I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I and the crazy thing about that whole situation, I wasn't even supposed to be there. For real. I was going to be, the crazy thing, in addition to that, I was going to visit a cousin of mine who lives in Murfreesboro. Just to show you how crazy that is. So I would have been in Murfreesboro, but I didn't go. I didn't go to his house and catch up with him that day, and decided to ride along up there to the set, and was just gonna be there to hang out. And plus, like we already established, knew you guys, been knowing you all for a while, and felt comfortable. And I just felt like it was gonna be a great day anyway. Like regardless, it was gonna be great. This is something I love to do. I enjoy doing.
It turned out amazing.
That was, I can't even say like any more about that feeling, you know? So knowing the situation and knowing that, you know, I had a particular skill set in the area and had some work before that I could help out, and I just, you know, kind of dug in deep and went off to myself for a moment and tried to get those lines in, you know, scene by scene, you know, step by step, and that's just how it came together. Yeah, everybody was great that day. I say that is why it was my favorite, because it was just easy to be comfortable there and know that everybody was. Everybody had such good energy, so it was good to, you know, still.
Oh, once we had an actress, yeah, we had great energy.
It was all still good energy. It was just frustrated energy at one point, and Memphis energy at one point.
Yeah,
and you know,
there'll be some fiery energy at one point. But as we wrap this up, we normally like to ask the actors on here to just kind of envision that one of their roles that they've done has gotten them nominated for an Oscar, and that they won that Oscar. I always think that everyone kind of has a little bit of an Oscar speech in mind. So what would be your Oscar speech?
Man, yeah. I just say y'all have some great questions here. You know, I would definitely thank God and my ancestors for bringing me to this point in my life, for the guidance. Because without them, there would be no me. And within that, of course, my parents, my late father, Charles Edward Robinson, and my mother, Ruth, for their examples throughout my life. I would also thank the production team, the writers, the producers, and all the colleagues that I've met connections with for the role and for the project itself. Because without everyone's collective and individual vision, there would be no opportunity for me to even be on stage to accept this award. Also wouldn't be anywhere without the fans giving light and love to the project and acknowledging it and supporting it. And of course, you know, there have been many friends and loved ones along the way who supported me, and I would probably take up too much time acknowledging every single person. But I appreciate them. And maybe this will be on an ego trip, but I would acknowledge my haters too.
Yes, do that.
Perfect.
That is perfect.
And I dropped the mic.
Bingo.
Oh, don't drop that mic. They're going to charge you for that.
She would have so much money, she didn't care. She wouldn't care.
Okay.
It'll be worth it just for the moment. Well, Candace, I thank you for joining us today. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you for thinking of me. You know, I support anything that you all do individually or collectively. Just keep me in the loop, and I'm there. But I really, really appreciate this time. It's been great.
And since you said that, that's basically a verbal contract. So we'll hold you to that. Well, I am Kevin Mumphrey with Victoria V.A. Jones and Carson Hype Ferguson.
Sure.
This is We'll Fix It in Post, and that is a wrap.
It is.